It's taking me a while today to get ready for this. And I'm on one today. There's a lot happening. Welcome to Monday. And here it is, almost over. Here's where I'm going to start. This is something that's been on my mind all day. That's really just been pissing me the fuck off. All right. It's time for the cartels to go. Okay, these fucking cartels, they need to go away. This President Obrador down in Mexico says he's not allowing any intervention. All right? Bullshit. Who the fuck does he think he is? We've been letting millions of the people from his country into our country. We've been putting them up in hotels. We've been giving them free phones, benefits, all this other shit. You know? And they're sending them over. And this dude just sits there and lets these cartels just run the shit. Now, this is our fault. I'm going to tell you why. All right? And fuck him and fuck them. Those cartel guys. Okay, we've let millions come in. 300 a day in America are dying from their fentanyl. And we're letting them bring that shit in here. 300 Americans a day. It's hit 100,000 since shithead Biden has taken over. You guys voted for him. Allegedly. I don't know. But fuck him too. You know, this guy's a worthless piece of shit. He's worthless. He got up there today and talked about the whole situation with the Silicon Valley Bank. Let it fucking crumble. Good. We'll get into that in a little bit. All right? But we've got 300 people a day are dying from these cartels. All right? 4 of our citizens go down there. They get kidnapped. 2 of them get murdered. The other 2, I don't know what kind of shape they're in. They're recovering in a hospital. I hope that they're fucking okay. They're not going to be okay. Who knows what they fucking saw happen? They didn't deserve that shit. And we're doing nothing. We should, I mean, we can go halfway across the globe and we can spend $150 billion on this fucking Zelensky over there in fucking Ukraine who shells his own fucking people because they speak Russian. And because they fucking practice, Russian Orthodoxy religion. And his Azov fucking regiment can go and do that and just shell these people, kill 1,400 of them. And that's fine. And we cheer that on and send 150 fucking billion. When we got fucking, they say 500,000 homeless in this country. I would say it's probably more like 1 million. It could be more. Because once people fall off the grid, they're off the fucking grid. Anyway, I don't want to get off on that tangent, but this government has let these fuckers kill 300 of our people every day. All right. My son lost his mother because of that shit. I mean, and so it hits. It's a personal thing for me. It's a personal thing. Very personal, you know what I mean? And were it not for that shit coming across the border like it is, and these fucking idiots like that stupid farting Eric Swalwell asshole that fucking cheated on his fucking family with that fucking Fang Chinese spy. I'm so sick of seeing that fucking idiot sound off. Swalwell, you're a fucking, what a fucking idiot. He's sounding off about everything, all the time, constantly sounding off. The guy looks like a fucking potato. Like I think I made a meme of him that said angry pelican or something like that. Him and fucking Adam Schiff, they're both pelicans. But I mean, you listen to these fucking idiots, they sound off. California, how are you voting for these idiots? What is going on? I like California. You used to be my home away from home. How do you keep voting for these people? The Maxine Waters and these Feinsteins and all this shit. What are you doing? Your fucking state's been taken over by the cartel. They've polluted your fucking water. They've taken over. I mean, so it's time for this to stop. Okay? This is just enough. After they did this to these 4 individuals, and they've done it to others as well. But, you got to ask the question, and I'm going to fucking just ask it. But, what would have happened if those 4 individuals, those 4 citizens, those 4 brothers and sisters of ours, had got together? What if they were white? Where would we be now? You got to ask the question. I'm going to ask it. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask it. And I don't play that card, but I'm going to play it here because it's like you got to ask the question. It's like, these were 4 young black people. 2 ended up dead, 2 in the hospital. The media is going to play their little shit where they grandstand on it for a fucking week or so or whatever, and then it's going to go away. Just like the Chinese fucking balloons. What happened to the balloons? Oh, Joe Biden shot one down and off the coast of South Carolina, and now there's no more balloons. I mean, it's bullshit. We've got fucking soldiers all over the goddamn planet. We meddle in everybody's fucking business, but yet we don't take care of our own. If we're gonna have borders, if we're gonna have a country, then we have to do what we got to do. And the first thing we got to do is, who gives a shit what fucking Obrador says? We go in there and we fucking mop up the floor with these fucking cartels. I know how these fuckers operate, okay? I've been locked up with them. I've heard their stories. I know what they do. They don't have any value for human life. They don't care. They're fucking savages. They don't give a shit. So if somebody's a savage and somebody doesn't give a fuck about taking a machete and hacking somebody into pieces and pulling their fucking organs out of them while they're living, and doing that to, say, somebody's fucking family, and then killing them while they have to watch. And that's what they do, okay? So they kill these people, and then they take these 5 spuds, and they tie them up, and they leave a handwritten note. A handwritten note? You know how much money the cartel makes? They leave a handwritten note in this truck. It wasn't the same truck that they fucking took these people in. And they leave them tied up on the ground with their shirts over their head. Have you seen the pictures? These 5 dudes, have you seen the pictures of these dudes? These dudes didn't do this. These were 5 guys that they went and found off the street. And they said, look, here's the deal. We're the fucking cartel. You're going to take the fall for this. And if you don't, we're going to rape your fucking daughters and kill your wife in front of you, and then we're going to fucking hack you into pieces with a machete. So you want to go to prison, or you want to fucking watch that happen? That's who those guys are. And anybody that thinks otherwise, I've listened to these fucking morons talk about, I think that note's credible. We have notes written in this country by 51 fucking CIA fucking intelligence fucking officers about a laptop that was Russian disinformation that turned out to be real, and they denied that. And we're going to believe a handwritten letter from the Gulf Cartel in Mexico with 5 spud guys, dad bod looking guys too. These guys had bird arms. They looked like little weaklings with their shirts pulled over their head, tied up. The fucking cops down there are cartel. They're all cartel. And their president says, we're not going to allow you to interfere. Well, we allow millions of you motherfuckers to come in here with your fucking fentanyl. These fuckers are killing. They're killing us. They're killing our kids. They're killing our family members with this shit. And it doesn't matter if it's through street drugs or if it's through other. They're making the shit look like Skittles. They're putting it in medication that looks like real medication. I mean, you could very well go over to your friend's house and be like, "Oh man, I got a really bad headache, man," or like, "Oh man, I twisted my ankle. It's all swelled up. Do you got some Advil?" You could pop a couple of Advil over there thinking that's what they are, and boom, all of a sudden you're dead. That's what this shit is. It's all by design. It's all on purpose. And China's sending down there to them for nothing. They're out there bobbing around in the ocean, in these little fucking dinghies, picking this shit up out of the fucking water. And then they're sitting down there in cow pastures fucking stirring it up. They do not care about human life. And here's the thing. Those dudes that were tied up and left with a fucking handwritten note. Get out. Come on, dude. You're the cartel. You can't type that shit. You can't, handwritten. This is a note from your mom? And anybody that believes that that's legitimate is a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. You're stupid. And that's the problem, is we've become so goddamn dumb. You know? I mean, we let millions of these people come up from through fucking Mexico, and that fucking president of theirs, he just fucking sits there, no big fucking deal. But now he's saying that Americans can't come in there and do anything about it. Bullshit. We should have the baddest ass motherfuckers that we have in the military, the baddest ass Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Marines, whoever. They should be putting together a team, and we should be just going down there and take out that Gulf cartel and take out that fucking Sinaloa cartel. Bye. Adios, motherfucker. What are you going to do about it? You know? I mean, that's the America I grew up in. Like, you know, when you travel abroad, when you go to a different country, people should know that if they fucking kidnap you or kill you, or that they're going to fucking, you know, it's going to be bad news for them. Those 5 dudes they left on the ground, they didn't do this. They don't operate without orders. That's how the cartel works. These dudes don't go rogue. They know if they go rogue, if they do something that they're not told to do and they fuck up, they know what's going to happen to them. And it's going to be what I just told you. They're going to take those guys. If they go rogue and do some shit that they weren't ordered to do, they're going to take those dudes and they're going to fucking tie them up and put a bag over their head, and they're going to take them to their house. And if they got kids, they got girls, they're going to rape them. They're going to hack them up with machetes in front of them while they sit there and make you watch. And then they're going to hack you up. It's not going to be a bullet to the head. That ain't going to be no easy fucking death. It's going to be painful, awful, fucking brutal, sadistic fucking shit. This is the type of people we're talking about. And they're on this side of the border. They're running all these people. They're doing sex trafficking, child trafficking. You know, there's been over 20,000 kids that have come through that border that are just gone. Where'd they go? Those people that cross the border, they've got to have a bracelet on. And they get it from the cartel. It's costing them $5,000 to $9,000 a piece. You can't go by yourself. These people that are crossing the border are not doing it on their own. They have to pay the cartel off to do it. Because if they come across that fucking river down there and they don't have the correct bracelet on, they're going to jam them up, because those dudes are sitting there waiting on the other side. And they're looking. They see you without the right bracelet. They see you without a bracelet. And they can scan. They got scanners. They can tell exactly, you know, which cartel put you through, whatever. The females, they all got to take birth control before they go on the trek, because they know they're going to get raped, or that there's a very high possibility. That's who we're talking about. These are savage animals. These people they don't stand for anything. They don't give a shit about each other either. I mean, they'll knock each other off, you know, no problem. I mean, you go sideways on one of those bosses. Do you think El Chapo fucking has any kind of mercy or anything? How many bodies do you think El Chapo's got behind him? Yeah. Look where they got him. They got him in Florence down there at that fucking ATX. Dude, he don't get fucking daylight. He's in a box all day. He doesn't even get commissary. That's what a bad that's what a bad person that dude is. And that's what these guys are too. It's time to just fucking, you know, it's time to say enough is enough. And who gives a shit? You know, the people down there in Mexico don't respect our border, so why the fuck do we respect theirs? There's no reason to. I mean, we want to fly all over the goddamn globe, fight stupid oil wars and shit. You know, the reason we don't take these guys out is because there's no fucking oil money in it. And because the government's in cahoots with them anyways. Look at the fucking Fast and Furious shit with Obama giving them guns and all that. I mean, the CIA was fucking, you know, I mean, we've made deals with these fucking dudes. We've allowed them to do what they're doing. These government officials, these intelligence agencies, they're crooked as fuck. They're in deep with these motherfuckers. That's why we're not going down there and handling this. I mean, when we have 4 citizens go into their country and they get kidnapped and 2 murdered and who knows what condition the other 2 people are in, and we don't do nothing, and what's Joe Biden going to do? Talk about fucking Silicon Valley Bank and sit up there and blame Trump? That's what he did. He blamed Trump today. Did you see that? He blamed fucking Trump for Silicon Valley Bank fucking falling apart. The reason that the banks are going to start falling apart, people, is because it's unsustainable. That's the problem. You know, we're sitting here listening to a fucking lying-ass, plagiarist, fucking career politician who's done nothing in his entire career. He's crooked. He's corrupt. You know, no one wants to hear it, but trust me. You know, I mean, and then, you know, I mean, the thing is, we let all these people come across the border. I mean, they've destroyed the Waldorf in New York City, which New York City's fucking done anyways. I mean, that Eric Adams, he's an idiot, and the Wicked Witch of the East, that's the governor, she's a moron. I mean, and here we sit, right? There's 340 million of us in this country. You understand that, right? We act like we don't have a say, like we can't do anything, like these people that we've elected are so much better than us. Well, stop electing them. Quit voting. It's not going to change until you quit putting them in there. Quit voting quit voting Mitch McConnell in. Quit voting for fucking Adam Schiff and fucking Maxine Waters, and, you know, get your fucking head right. You know, think about what you're doing. Americans, you've put these people in power over you. So now you've got this overwhelming, you know, urge to have somebody tell you what to do because you can't figure it out yourself. Well, guess why you can't figure it out yourself? It's because you went through the education system and you didn't get educated. You got inundated. You got told what to do for most of your life until you were an adult. If you went to college, you know, I mean, the human brain doesn't fully form until you're, 25? I mean, it's not your fault. But what is your fault is not figuring it out, you know? I mean, I'm over halfway through my time here on this trip, you know? I could just say I don't give a shit, but, you know, I mean, I think people have an inherent desire to leave things better for those to come. You know, who's coming next? I mean, you don't want to leave a shit dump for your kids, even if you don't have kids. You know, and we complain about the young generation and this and that and the other thing. Well, it's our fault. You know, we've got 535 people in this country out of 340 million that are calling the shots. 535. Add the president and the vice president, which I would say they don't count, but they do, because that idiot Kamala, she makes the, you know, on a split vote in the Senate, she makes the difference. And then obviously dipshit can veto whatever he wants. But if you figure that number out, right? You got do the numbers. I always do, you know, stats. I'm not a mathematician, but statistics do play. I mean, you're talking about 0.0000015% of the country that make up the legislature, that makes the rules. That's not even 1%, and they're calling the shots for your life, for what you do. They're the ones saying, guess what? We're going to have 87,000 new IRS agents, and you're going to fucking pay your fucking money. You know? Like I've said, if paying taxes was so good, if it was such a great thing, if it was such an honorable deal, you would pay them freely, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have it taken out of your check. They don't even ask you. They just take it. You get your check and you know, you're like, wait a minute, I worked such and such hours? And you're throwing your time away on a fucking shitty cheese job. Working for an hourly wage is stupid. You go ahead, do it. You like doing it? Do it. I think one time in the last 10 years, maybe I worked for an hourly wage. And it was for $55 an hour. And then for every day I was on the job, it was an extra $100. And for every day I got it done early, it was another extra $100. I figured I could do that. Turned out okay. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are out there making that money. I mean, that's not even a ton of money. I mean, I can make more on my own working less, but you know, one time in 10 years. You know, I mean, People, y'all voted for this. And maybe you're not even seeing what's going on. That's the other thing that's frustrating. I know nobody's listening to this. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody just wants to be stupid and go about their daily, business and not even, ignorance is bliss, right? And I don't know why I'm afflicted with giving a shit about this stuff and why I care, but I do, and I always have, and it drives me nuts. It doesn't. When I get done with this, I'm just gonna, I'll go do my thing, play my guitar or whatever, and probably sit here and write. But I'm doing what I want to do. So, and I'm trying to help everybody just by speaking out on this shit. I wake up this morning and the first thing I see is there's all these immigrants at El Paso yelling at these border guards, and these TV stations are interviewing them, and they're crying and sniveling about how they need to come into the country. No, hey, come on. There's and the immigration system is fucked up. And we need to change that. But when I'm looking and I see nothing but young men claiming asylum, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm just not. And they're paying the cartels to come across, and this dipshit is just, he hasn't even been down there. Dumbass went down there once and they cleaned it all up and shit and made it look just, like a, fucking, Mayberry from Andy Griffith's show or whatever. Totally fake, which is everything that they do, And in the meantime, we're sitting over there and we're sending, billions of dollars over there to the Zelensky, and all of our stuff is ending up. Who knows where it is? Who knows where that? How many billions of dollars of stuff were left in Afghanistan that are probably sitting in the hands of the Chinese or the Russians and being used against the Ukrainians. You know how long the life expectancy is on the front line in Ukraine, and that it's 4 hours. And now they're saying, oh yeah, Ukraine's did this and that. The fires in Moscow came from it was fires break out. They're acting like, oh yeah, they're storming. No, they're not. Not happening. It's all a big lie. And everybody's eating it all up. And it changes from week to week, On Friday it was the Silicon Valley Bank. Good. Let the banks go. What do we do with a building when a building is done? When it's not safe? When it's decrepit? What do? We demolish it. Right? We knock it down, we rebuild it. What do you do when you get an injury? What do you do when you blow out your ACL? You either wander around and you limp around on it, and then your back gets fucked up, and then your hip, and then, you're all cobbed up, or you go and get the surgery done. This system is not sustainable. The monetary system in this country is, and it's in the world too, because most of the world runs off the petrodollar. And so we have an issue. And we have an issue with this border shit. It's like either we don't have a border or we do. Do you want to get rid of the borders? Then get rid of the state borders, get rid of the states. Just open it all up and we can just be North America, or we can just call it Earth. If we were to do that, I think that problems would take care of themselves, quite frankly. The reason the cartel exists is because of our draconian laws on drugs. Now, it's okay for you to go to your doctor and get a prescription for fucking Adderall. What's that? It's fucking legal speed. But if you get the prescription, it's all good, but you can't buy speed off the street because the government doesn't make any tax. They don't get no money out of that. They ain't getting their cut. Big Pharma ain't getting their cut. If we were just say, hey, all bets are off, whatever. You want to do drugs, do drugs. Everybody's doing them anyway. People are going to do drugs. It's not like they're stopping anybody. But guess what? When they have it illegal, then they get the money from sending your ass to fucking prison. Then they get to take away your voting rights. And they get to lock up more black people. Let's do the math here, folks. It doesn't take a fucking genius to figure this out. The government is not they're not there to protect you from yourself. They're not there to protect me from myself. That's my job. And I'll do it however I want. I don't care what they say. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to do, and I always have. But if we were to just, if they were to say, okay, you know what, all bets are off. There's no more fucking DEA. Get rid of the DEA. The war on drugs. Fuck that. There wouldn't be a fentanyl problem if everything was just legalized. We wouldn't have this issue. We wouldn't have cartels. Why do you think, why did they start? Because there was a fucking need. People in this country needed drugs because they're illegal. So they decided, well, hey, we can figure this out. It's not illegal down here. We know how to procure this shit. We'll start, we'll start trafficking up there. I mean, if you didn't have that, say whatever you want, I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do. Everybody goes, oh, if you legalize drugs, then everybody will just be, no, people are going to do drugs. If they want to do drugs. If they don't, they're not. It doesn't matter if they're legal or not. And it's kind of one of those things, like if you look at alcoholism, like in European countries where they've let kids have a glass of wine at dinner, right? They haven't like demonized it. Whereas in this country, we have our drinking ages. You can go get your ass shot off in a war at 18, but you can't have a beer. Stupid. If you tell somebody no, if you prohibit something, then human nature is to say, fuck you, watch this. So I did. And that's what almost everybody I know did the same thing. It puts that mystique behind it, that danger, right? You're going to try and buck, try and push it and get away with something. That's life. But yet, if it's legal and you talk about it with everybody, oh, kids are doing drugs anyways. If it's legal, then it's not going to be, they're not going to be doing fucked up drugs that are all cut up with bullshit that's going to kill them. Yeah, kids are going to experiment. Kids are going to fuck around with shit. That's the way it goes. That's life. Deal with it. You did. I did. What the fuck? Why should you have to go to prison for it? It's stupid. Anyway, that would be a great way to start this thing. And then go in there and take out these cartels. We'll just go down there and just wipe them out. They don't care about, think about how many bodies, how many people they've hacked up. They're pieces of shit. I don't mean to be that way, but these guys they're savages. They don't care. They hack people up. They're brutal. They're vicious. They're awful fucking human beings. They're holding a whole country hostage. They're holding our country hostage. And goddamn, this fucking phone just keeps going off. Son of a bitch. Anyway. So that's what I'm saying. With prohibition, it's never worked. Just open it up. And then you get rid of the DEA. They can go fuck off. They can go do whatever they want to do. Chip and Rich can go play fucking tiddlywinks or whatever. If we want to fight a war, this is the war that needs fought. And either we have a border or we don't. The place is not a country anyways. We're a corporation. And I've been through that with everybody. So, it really, what the fuck's it matter? But when I see innocent people go down there, and you saw the shed that these people were, where they found them. I mean, they went down there for a female to get some kind of surgery. You saw the minivan. I mean, I don't know what they probably went through, but I can tell you what, those 5 dudes on the ground, they didn't have nothing to do with it, and that handwritten note was bullshit. So, you know, I don't know what else to say about that one, but that's, you know, for right now, I guess that's where I'm going to leave it. That's the war that needs fought. That's what's got me wound up today. That, and who gives a shit about Silicon Valley Bank? Sorry for all you fuckers that lost money, but guess what? When you're involved in the banks, play silly games and win silly fucking prizes. You know, I mean, honestly, I don't give a shit about the investors or whatever. I don't care. You know, all these people out there playing the fucking market and all that. I mean, you guys are just a bunch of fucking swindlers anyways. You're taking advantage of, you know, of the, you know, average Joe that just goes and works his job. I mean, you know, you all figured out, you know, the way to manipulate the thing, and that's fine. But I don't feel sorry for you, and I don't feel sorry for anybody in Silicon Valley. You know, these assholes are the ones that are censoring everybody. You know, fuck them. And you know, if the banking system is, it might as well just crumble. You know, pull the Band-Aid off. It's unsustainable. It's not gonna. You know, when's it gonna? It's bound to fall. So it might as well just, you know, we might as well just tear it down. It's gonna be painful for a little bit, whatever. But we can figure out a different way, because our money doesn't mean anything. There's nothing behind it. It's fake. It's fiat currency. It's not real. Most people don't even know what fiat currency means. They don't know what the fractional reserve banking system is. I just always encourage everybody to do some homework. I'm trying to become not such a big dumbass as well. You know, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything, that I'm a useful idiot, and that I would like to, on the day I check out, I'd like to not have the idiot part behind, and just say I was useful. That's all. So, on that note, I'm going to check out. Hope you all have had a case of the Mondays. Enjoyed your first day back at work for the big week. Welcome to Groundhog's Day. Fuck a bunch of that. Anyway, all right, I'm out. As I was saying, from 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming. Be good or be good at it. In all things, be kind and do no harm, unless it's to the cartel, because those fuckers need to go. Think about it. Peace out.